Thinkscan 662. It's a 4-system scanner. What that means is it doesn't just do 4 modules, it does 4 systems: airbag, traction, transmission, and engine. So if there's multiple modules in that system, like for instance, some Mercedes for the transmission system, you got a transmission module, you got a shifter module, and you have an electronic shifter on the side of the trans, it'll read all 3 of those. So if you have an airbag module and you have like a weight sensing module for the seat, it'll read both of those. So it's a scanner that will read those systems. It will also read the live data. It'll read codes, it'll clear codes, it'll show you the module information, and it can actually activate things. On top of that, you also have maintenance items. This one here has quite a list of them. We got 3, 6, 9, 12. 12, I can count 12. We got 12 on this thing, all right? We go from ABS bleeding to airbag reset, battery matching, brake pad, DPF regeneration, a couple other things that I'm gonna go through as I go through the scanner, but this here is going to be a how to use it and a wrap up with a review. And as always, if you like something like this and wanna purchase it for yourself, I'm gonna leave a link in the description in case it's something you want, okay? Whether you buy it or not, that's on you. I don't care. I like doing these things because I showcase products to help you make an informed decision. So here we go. As always, the unboxing, owner's manual, scanner, power button, where you connect the dongle for the OBD2 port, charging port, or data transfer port, SD card, OBD2 cable, garbage, USB to USB-C. Got the unit powered up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do the screen recorder, and I'm gonna walk through all the functions. That way you get to see firsthand how it looks on the screen without the camera reflection. All right, so we got the screen recorder active. Now we're gonna switch over. So first we're gonna focus on the 3 lines. When you're on the 3 lines, it's gonna give you all the options that you still see on the home screen. It's touchscreen, or you can use the buttons on the right side. I'm gonna use the back button to get out of there. We're in Diagnose. In Diagnose, you got your automatic VIN lookup, which will help pick the model. You got your Diagnose, which brings you into all the available models. This does tons more. I had went into the settings and deleted all of the ones that I don't use. I'll show you how to do that at the end. OBD will read any car. Just plug it into the diagnostic port and doing the generic OBD reading. History gives you the history of what you've done already. Reports, after you run a health check, it saves the report. Feedback, that's when you encounter problems, you can create a ticket with Thinkscan. You have the Dollar Fix community. When you subscribe and log into the Dollar Fix community, you can see what other people need help with, or you can post your own issues to see if people can help you. When you're in the maintenance section, you can scroll through them all, or if you hit the last button with all the squares, it'll actually show you them all on another screen, and you can sort them. You can click sorting, and you can actually move the modules or the options, whichever place you want them. Also, if you go to coverage list, you can pick your model car and it'll tell you if your model is covered in whatever maintenance option you want to use. Okay, there's a whole list of all the makes and models and what the scanner will do for them. Upgrade is where you're gonna do your updates. They give you 3 different sections. When you go into it, it gives you the option again. So a lot of this is redundant, right? So I'll show you. So you can pick either the car software or the maintenance software or the actual application. But if you go into the car, it still gives you maintenance right there and tells you how many updates you have, right? I had removed all of the models that I don't use here in USA, but you can see the list of all the models you can use it for. It also tells you the version installed in the previous version, which is nice, okay? If you want to delete the software like I did, on the bottom right, you click Clear Diagnostic Software, and then it brings you to another menu where you can pick the cars you want to delete out of there. You can always reinstall them through the update, but you can remove them off your scanner if you don't want to see them there anymore, all right? So then if you go to maintenance, it gives you the updates for the maintenance. It tells you if it's at the latest version on the right side, or if there's an update for it. And then when you go to the app, you can also check the app version, the Dollar Fix version, you know, the versions of the other programs on here too. So that's where all your updates are located. When you go to more, that's when you get your settings, you get your online service, user manual, the OBD fault code library, your coverage list, gadget, which we'll go into there to show you It's just Chrome or file management. You got your remote assistance if you want someone to remote in to help out with the scanner, or you can do like the other one, pick the last box and it puts them all on one menu so you can see them again. There's no sorting on this one, but you can see just another way to view it. So kind of easy to use, a lot of redundant features. All right, so now that we got the basics out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up to a car, and then we'll see what we can do with it. All right, so I'm in the wife's 2013 Dodge Journey. We do have a check engine light on. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna run through the diagnostics. Let's go ahead and hit the screen recorder. That way you guys get a clearer screen. All right, now that we're active, we can do a VIN search, but all the VIN search does is that helps pick the car. It doesn't really do anything specific. In the factory scanners, a VIN search will actually tell you, or it'll make the computer aware of the options for the car. Where in aftermarket scanners, all it does is pull up the VIN and then allows you to search for the model and stuff. So you kind of got to do it twice. Not saying it's not helpful, but it's, I don't know, it's not that helpful. All right, now that we're in the Chrysler, we still got to search for the car. So I'm saying the VIN search is kind of redundant sometimes and not that helpful. All right, so now we found the car. Now we can finally go into the car section. All right, so health report will scan for every available module for those 4 systems and then report back any fault codes. System scan will just report back what systems are reporting back. And then system selection, we're going to manually go into whatever module we want. So let's say you know you have an airbag problem. You would go here and then go straight to the airbag. All right, see that? That way you ain't got to wait for a report to be done or a full scan. So system scan will just report back every module that reports. So we'll do that. I'll show you the difference. All right, so we got a PCM, an ABS module, and an airbag module. Only 3 systems that are reporting back. Now, if we go to health report, not only is it reporting back the systems that it was able to read, but now it's actually showing us the fault code, all right? So we see we got a fault code for the engine module or the PCM, if you want to call it that, which means it's got the engine and transmission module in one, the powertrain, so they call it a powertrain control module. Then we got 2 airbag module faults, and then we're clear on the ABS, all right? So that's as easy as that. So with just that simple scan, we know what's going on with those 4 systems, right? So once we're in here, if you click on the arrow, all it does is bring you into the module. Let me move the screen recorder out of the way. All right, so once we're in the module, you can see the options we have. You can read the control module information. You can read the fault code. When you're in the fault code, the scanner does give you some helpful information for it, or you can do a Google search. So it's kind of nice that it tells you what the fault code means. All right. Freeze frame, if there is freeze frame of the fault code, which means the module took a snapshot of all of the data at the time the fault code happened. That's helpful to know how to reproduce the issue. All right, you can clear the fault code. You can read the data stream, which is nice. So we'll just do a couple of these. The options you have while you're in here is you can switch between metric or imperial, right? If there's a graph option, you'll see that highlighted in orange. So there's the graph. You can record the graph. You can combine them into the same graph. So graphing is helpful if you want to keep an eye on what's happening. This does give us the option for actuation test, which is nice. Here you can see what you can actuate for this Dodge. Fuel injectors, ASD relay, fuel pump relay. We got the engine fan, a couple of relays here. So this scanner is capable of doing activations, which is great. We can read some coding depending on the module and depending on the car. You can't do nothing while you're in here, you can just read. Now in the airbag module, you can't really activate anything in airbag module ever, nor would you want to. Not like you want to activate blowing up an airbag, but so the same thing, you'll get the same options. Module information, read the fault code, clear the fault code, read the data stream. All All right, we'll just select the whole page. These are all the things the control module can see, you can see, which is very helpful in trying to narrow down a failure. So there's all of our live data. There's our resistance of the airbag connectors, right? So this will help you narrow down issues with the airbag system. Then let's take a look at the traction. Even though ours is normal, we can still go in there and read some data. So we can read the data stream. We'll select all these. All right, while we're in there, look, I'll press the brake pedal. There you go, it's showing pressed. All right, then you can watch the brake pedal travel sensor. I'm mashing on the brake, so the value's changing. So it's giving you live data. Wheel speed data, if you want to watch that. Now there is a little delay, depending on how many options you have to read. If you pick 40 of them, it's going to take a second, and there's going to be a delay. So that's where graphing kind of helps to catch what's happening in the moment. So here's the wheel speed. So if we were moving, the wheel speeds would start reading. All right, so you can read all that in the traction system. All right, now once you're done with all this, you can either clear all the DTCs. We'll go ahead and clear them. Yep, I want to clear it. Engine cannot be running. I'm going to turn the engine off. Then I'm going to turn the key back on. Press OK. And now it's going to clear all the codes. All right, and now I'm going to start it back up. Some codes take a few drive cycles to reset. Sometimes it could be minutes, days, weeks, or months before they pop back on. So I'm going to rescan it. And it looks like we definitely have an issue with the airbag system because the code came right back, so that'll need diagnosed, all right? But for the rest of them, they're gone. So we can do a report. We could have done one for the pre-scan. We'll call this one the post-scan, all right? Then do OK. You could always do, you know, your shop name and all that stuff. But once you do a report, it'll save it. And then here's how the report will look. This only does a few systems, so it's going to be a pretty quick one. And then you can share it, okay? Do a PDF of it. So there you go. Those are the options you have when you're trying to scan the car. It's as simple as that. All right, so one thing that's common when you're replacing the throttle body is relearning them. So I'll go ahead and do it on this Dodge. So electronic throttle adaptation, I'm gonna enter into it. Gives you little warnings and stuff, all right? So I'm gonna go to Chrysler Jeep and Dodge. Learn electronic throttle control. So I'm gonna do okay. Engine has to be off. Engine's off, key is on. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I don't think we'll hear it from inside the car. Usually you hear the throttle clicking. Press and hold the accelerator pedal to the floor. Throttle must be held to the floor. Press continue when ready. So I got the gas pedal to the floor. I'm holding it. Releasing. And it learned it. And I just heard the throttle body click a couple times. All right, I'm gonna start it back up. Easy as that. And that's pretty much it. So the last thing I wanted to talk about with this is it does have the FCA authorization as well as the Renault and all that stuff. So you can definitely sign up for those things and have it linked to your scanner. So the only negatives that I find with the scanner is just the length of the cable. So I would get an adapter cable to give you a little bit more freedom to move around the passenger compartment with to work on it. But as far as a review, I love this thing because it does what I like it to do is it has bi-direction control. To me, when you're trying to fix something, you really want to be able to control it so you can test to make sure it's getting the signal that goes to it. Without bi-direction control, it still leaves some guesswork into what the failure can actually be, right? But as far as a scanner that only does the major systems that you're concerned about to keep the car running, it honestly does everything that a professional mechanic would want it to do. So check it out on Amazon. I'll send a link down below. You can find it anywhere between $160 to $240, depending on if the coupon's still available or not. So I appreciate you checking out my video. I really hope this helps you. I'm an indecisive buyer. So I like watching reviews myself to see if it's something that's worth my money and my time. So I do these videos for you guys so you get an understanding as to what it is you are going to get and if it's going to help you. So hey, really hope this helps you guys. I appreciate you watching. Take care. Until next time.